Do you need to hit start streaming in OBS? Okay. All right, you guys, welcome to the studio today. I'm so happy to have you with me. Yeah, it's a beautiful day here in Portland, Oregon. So I'm going to just chat a little bit and let everyone kind of come on to the stream. The first thing I want to do is just tell you a little bit about what's been going on in the studio. I'm still working on getting my painting space set up, and it's really going to be beautiful and really wonderful to have a dedicated spot for filming and doing the streaming, and then I get to have a nice, wonderful painting space. Hang on. Okay. The phone's, my phone's ringing, sorry. No problem. But it's a little crazy. Whenever I do a project, I kind of go head over heels, kind of down a rabbit hole with stuff, and so it's been a little crazy. And the other thing I want to do is I probably am not going to have a chance to do this before Thanksgiving, and I really want to make sure that I thank all my supporters, loyal supporters and subscribers, fans, students, all of you. I so appreciate you. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you. And all of you, I know that this allows me to lead a lifestyle that is amazing, creative, and yet very, very peaceful. And I'm very, very privileged to have been able to do that most of my life and to create art almost every day of my life. It's such a huge blessing. I thank God and the fairies, and I thank my mom so much, and Roger for making me look good all the time, and R&R, you know who you are, and thank you, Kevin, for always sticking with me and making me look good and making things pretty easy around here. So I am so grateful. So I hope you all have a wonderful, happy Thanksgiving and stay really safe. And I know this is kind of an unprecedented Thanksgiving this year, and it's a little weird and hard, but stay safe, and anyway, have a great Thanksgiving. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the little thing that I haven't really been keeping a secret, but I'm now celebrating today my new workshop, Color College. I wasn't keeping it a secret, but it did take me a little bit more time to complete than I thought, because again, I kind of tend to go down these rabbit holes. I really wanted to make it right. And I've been planning this workshop for a lot of years, but I really wanted to wait until I could really make it accessible to students of all mediums, my acrylic students, my oil painting students, and watercolor students, and pastelists. So I wanted to make this workshop available for a wide range, and it really is that. I've been teaching for over 20 years, and particularly pastelists. I see that limitation that pastelists have that is really interesting about color, because it's that display here of color that really kind of draws us pastelists in, and what they're all about, right? What we're really attracted to, even addicted to as pastelists. But I do think that your idea, your preference to being identified as just a pastelist is something that kind of can hamstring you and limit you. That picking thing, not mixing, can create sort of a gap in your understanding about color. So I do think, so in this Color College workshop, I'm asking you to buy a little paint. And I do think it is worth it, because that understanding of mixing is that thing that's going to, take you into a different paradigm. Because, and also I think about being an artist, it's not the medium that makes you an artist. It's the way you see things that makes you an artist. So the idea that, oh, I'm a pastelist, I try to avoid that. I don't try to identify as, I identify as an artist more than a pastelist. And this workshop that I just developed, it's not about something that you can learn from a book. It's not some little piece of information about science, though it's some of that, and it's some information that you can get from a book. It's more about this deeper understanding and awareness of the relationships of those three aspects of color that I talk about all the time, and how those three aspects interact with one another, and how we grasp those and use those in a painting. You guys see me flitting around, right? Moving really fast, picking colors, and oftentimes you ask me, what color? Do you know what color I've picked? Do you know what color that is? And it's really, and I always say, well, I don't know. And that's true, because I don't know. I'll pick this up. I don't know. I kind of know that this is probably a Mount Vision. I kind of know what it's going to do. But beyond that, I don't really. I don't think it really has anything to do with knowing the specific color. It's not about that. It's not about having exactly the colors. And for you guys, it's not about having exactly the colors or the stuff that I have. It's really not. That's not the answer. It's not paint by number. You guys know that. And if you hold on to this idea that if you only had all the colors, that it would make you better, you're gonna hold yourself back. You're always going to be just copying instead of gaining that really deep understanding about color relationships. And I know that it's been said a lot of times, like, oh, color gets the glory, but value does the work. And I think that is true to a certain extent, but more than that, it's that value, hue, and saturation, and they are inextricably intertwined and interrelated. And we need to understand those relationships. That's it. So that disadvantage of pastels that I see is that you can trick yourself into kind of thinking, if I only had all of them, I'd have it. I'd have the answer. No, not all of you do that, but I kind of have that feeling. So this workshop is expressly to fill in those kinds of blanks and help you move beyond that kind of thinking. And I'm hoping to give you those aha moments that can kind of kick your butt into a different paradigm about color. So I made this workshop. It's really in-depth. It was really intense. We thought we were going to just we thought we were going to kill ourselves doing it. It's over 13 hours of instruction, and the PDF study guide's almost, it's like 92 pages, so almost 100 pages. But I did make it, again, really expressly, really affordable as I could, so that the most number of you could take advantage of it and really dig into it. So if color is in your art practice, I think you should really have this one. It's on sale right now, $50 off for just 3 weeks. And you can see the beautiful graphic that we made. Roger helped us make. I think it's really cool. So anyway, so that's my latest thing. I'm really happy to finally have something like that out for you guys. It's I think it turned out amazing. So today, in celebration of that, I'm going to play around with color, and I'm going to show you guys just how exciting it can be and how you can really enjoy and just be in playing with color, dancing with color. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to use this photo reference that I have picked out, and my support team, R&R, they said, oh, that's really boring. And I said, yeah, that's the idea, because it is kind of boring, but it does have strong shapes and value relationships, which is good. But there's a place in there for me. There's places for me to play with this. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play around, and I'm going to grab my color stories for several of these. I'm going to do several versions of this, and I'm going to grab my color stories from different references, and I'm going to share those with you. I think that'll be super fun. The first version I'm going to do is more of a faithful representation of the reference, though not totally. And I'm going to play around. And so I'm just going to see what I can do in about an hour or so, maybe a little more, and play around with color. And this is my jam. This is my favorite thing to do. And if I have time in the studio and I'm just messing around, this is what I would be doing. I love it. I would be doing it with more than just pastels, but today I'm just going to use just pastels and some different types of paper. So I have a few different pieces of paper picked out. If I was doing it on my own devices, I would have pastels, and I would bring in some fluid acrylics and maybe some oil paint and some alcohol and some GAMS. I would just be, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that, and I would see what happens, and I would be saying to myself, what if I put this in, what if I put that in? Kind of like a chef, like, oh, I'm going to try a little bit of this spice and a little bit of that spice and see what happens, and I'd be tasting it along the way. So that's what I'm going to do today, and I'm really excited about doing that for you guys. So they might not be, some of them might not turn out, and that's okay. All right, so that's that. That's all right. Okay, so I've got, first of all, I've got wine pastel mat. I've got a little mat cut here. So this is 6 by 6, so not very big. And I'm just going to come along and get my little composition in here. And I love to paint in squares, so that's the other thing. And I've got my, is that blue spruce? Maybe it's not the right one. It's not. See, that's blue spruce. See that? It's just a little different. This one is just a little greener and not quite as dark. And that's blue spruce. It's number 305 new pastel. So here's my composition. I've got a distant hill tree line and a couple of tree shapes and this one in here. And I've got, and a little pathway. I guess I'll include the pathway. Adds a little interest to it. And that's that. Okay. That's nice. So is that. And so I'm going to put down some nice bright green in here. Whoops. And I guess I'll get that pathway in there somehow. A couple of different things I think will work. Maybe this, maybe that. I want to get it in there kind of so it looks like a little natural path, not a the edges aren't too hard. I want it to go around that corner a little bit. All right. This is honestly my funnest thing to do.
Here we got a question for you, Marla. Somebody asked a little earlier, what paints do you need for the color workshop?
I used acrylic paint for the mixing, and I highly recommend that if you're gonna do it, that you get a little acrylic paint. You don't need to have a lot, but a co-primaries palette is what I recommend and is gonna get you the most out of that workshop.
And they don't have to be fancy, right?
They do not have to be fancy. And you don't need more than one brush, and you know, it's pretty simple. Pretty simple. And some of the projects you can do with pastels, but you really want to have, what I want you to have if you're a pastelist is that mixing practice. So yeah, I do recommend that. Okay, so sky coming in here. This is pink. Getting some idea of these, what this edge is doing. That's pretty fun. Get a little gradation in the sky here. See what that does? That pulls it down. This gradation in the sky pulls the focal point back down right in there, which is really cool. then I want to add that little bit of red undertone, because this has that a little bit of red there, and that's neat. And then maybe there's a little cast shadow here.
There's another question about the color workshop.
Yeah.
Could you use oil paint?
You could use oil paint. I don't use oil paint with the projects, but you definitely could.
I really like mixing with oil because it stays wet so long.
Yeah,
So it's great.
yeah. I used acrylic because it's just kind of easier for people. It's not as it's not as expensive too, so I like that. Okay, one more thing on this, and then I'm going to move on to the next one. A little bit of yellow right here at the horizon. Oh, that's nice. All right, that'll do. I'm just getting some texture, some mark making in here that I kind of want. And then do I want to put in those flowers right there? Maybe, but I'm going to put them in with the blue, not white, because if they were white, they'd pop out too much. And maybe it might be fun to have a little bit of this kind of thing in here too. So that's pretty lovely. And now I'm going to move on to something else. I just want a little bit of... You doing okay, Kevin?
Here's an interesting question. How do you make the path lay down?
That's perspective. That's just getting, that's just drawing so that it goes around the corner. Now, looking at it, even in mine, the baseline, the end of the path, actually it could go even a little bit lower. The tendency is when we're doing a river or a pathway to get this too high, like instead of down here, to put it up here. And that's not, see where the horizon is? You got to look at where the baseline is versus the horizon. It's lower, and that's the main key of getting something like that to lay down. Okay. All right, let's do another one. Yay. I just love this. Okay, now let's put this here. Now, this one, what am I going to do? I have all these different things here that I'm thinking that would be fun to play with. I have this lovely oil painting that I got this year.
Can you hold it up where the...
What?
Can you hold it where your piece is going to be?
Okay. I have this. I love these colors. Could I make those colors work in this composition? This is a old postcard that I've had laying around the studio that something that's just kind of inspired me over time. I like this too. This is Harper's Ferry by Garnet Jex. That's another thing that's been hanging around. This one by William Park. I love these. This is kind of complicated color situation. I don't know whether I'll do that. Let's see, what else have I got here? I've got this book by John Twatchman, and I love his stuff. He does all this stuff that's really pretty interesting. I had this one page marked. This one. Ooh, maybe I'll start with this one, because this one's all like really, really high key, and that could be fun to do. So why don't we do that? We'll start there. And I'll just do it on the blue paper. That'll work. A lot of times, people ask me a lot, like, "Oh, why did you pick that color and paper?" And sometimes it's just because I have it. Sometimes I'll pick it because there's some color in the piece that is analogous. In this case, there is quite a lot in here, and I think that the blue will work out just fine. So here is my guy, and again, question about letting that path lay down is this. Okay, so here's the baseline of the path. Here's the horizon. So that's important, because a lot of times we don't get it to lay down. So I'm going to start out much the same. Here's my shapes. There's the distant hillside. Okay, so but now I want to go over here and catch what's going on over there. And the sky, in that case, it's this kind of, check it out, the sky's that kind of tan thing. It's really interesting. It's one of those kind of situations where you can't really name the color. Lots of neutrals, lots of high key. Let's see. How about this? Oh yeah, it's kind of like this, but it's and then that distant, the distant trees could be like this. And then the that little strip of right here, maybe keep it kind of green, but like that. What about this being, it's a little bright, but I'll settle it down. It's really cool though. Already I like it. Now maybe I need to think about whether that's going to be snow.
So here's another quick question, just to clarify. For the color workshop too, if you had gouache, you could use that as well.
Yeah, you could use gouache. Oh yeah, definitely. You could use gouache.
So the principles of color are the same, but the properties of the medium are different. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. And as long as you can get a hold of a co-primaries palette, color palette, you're going to be good. And you can with gouache. Oh, look at how interesting that is. Just so different and interesting. little bit. Thinking about this having and a little bit, I need some darks. Though the key, this is all kind of keyed, it's all kind of compressed value range, which is always really cool to play with. And let's see, let's get the pathway in there. Let's see. Maybe I need to do this. That's better.
And here's another question. Can we use watercolor instead of acrylic paint? A little trickier, but
It's a little trickier, and the reason it's a little trickier to use watercolor is that watercolor is a transparent medium, and the mixing process is slightly different. So that's the only thing. But yeah, you could. You definitely could.
And also, here's a good question. What is a co-primaries palette?
Co-primaries palette is a warm and a cool version of each of the primaries. So you're going to get a warm yellow, cool yellow, a warm red, and a cool red, and same thing with blue. And that allows you to mix throughout the spectrum. I'm getting a little lost here. Let's see. I need to do this. There we go. And here. And then I'm going to do this. You see, this had these trees right here. I'm making a mess on this one. It's okay. I am gonna do I think I messed up. Let's see. You know what? I need to take something off. But that's okay, I'll leave it. I'm gonna do this. The sky. I'm getting there. And I made a mistake with the road. So I gotta, oh, where's my, I need to take this off.
Looks good from here.
Oh, it's okay. It's just, I had in mind something else, so here. Now the road goes. I did opposite land. There we go.
Sorry to keep distracting you, but
No.
as far as the watercolor question, if you want it to be a watercolorist, you're going to have to learn how to mix with watercolor. So it'd be a lot.
Yeah, you can. It just the following along in this particular workshop with watercolor is maybe going to be a little confusing.
Oh yeah, big time.
That's my only thing. Oh, there we go. Finding my way here. This, to me, is the most exciting part of painting. It's just like digging out the finding that unexpected color. And I'm gonna hold up that reference photo and see if you think I kind of came close. The sky is different though. The sky is more darker, but I can't quite make it work.
You could take the reference photo down too more, like you want to use it in your hand because it's blocked by our image.
What?
The reference photo that you have hanging up is blocked by our reference.
Oh, okay.
So you could take it down if you wanted to.
Okay. Okay. I'm like looking at this. That's what I'm keen on. That's what I want it to be like. I'm going to do this. And then I think I'm going to move on to the next thing. So I have another idea. Ooh, but I like it. I like this. I so like it.
Would you say you went through a yuck phase there for a second?
Oh yeah, for sure. I definitely went through a yuck. But the thing is, it's not now. And this is the thing of like putting something down and responding to it and putting something else down and responding to it. And really like being able to like understand what's happening.
And before you take it down, don't forget to put the mat up there if you could take a look at it.
All right. It's not as high key as the reference, but it's close. Time, I want to do at least a couple more, so not give up on it, but it's really interesting. Okay, all right, let's do another one. that was hard. It's okay. I have in mind to, I'd love to try to make this work, but I don't know. I'm going to do something that's a little lower key. This is from my variation book. You can still get this on Blurb, but because I had a student I saw that had recently purchased it. But I have in mind to do something that's like this. But I want the sky to be more brilliant than that. So let's see, what kind of paper do I have left here? I have some more blue. That could work. I also have this piece of Wallace. This is Wallace paper that I know it's kind of nasty to use because you can't get it anymore. But this is Wallace paper toned with yellow ochre acrylic, really thin. I used to do this all the time. I used to buy the kitties paper in rolls, and I would tone a whole bunch of it at once. And I just liked this. It's kind of traditional ground color, kind of used a lot in oil painting, this kind of color. All right, so here's my little composition. Got to get my thing in. Here's my road down the center. There's a little tree shape here. Distant hills. I'm going to get it in a little bit more cogently than before. Okay. All right. So now warm, everything's warm. And but there's also some pretty interesting greens in there as well. Looking at this, oh yeah, that's pretty. That's what I did. So on this horizon, it's kind of something like this. So it's aqua. It's really nice. And ooh, I haven't worked on this Wallace paper in a long time. Looking at that. Really fun. So I'm mixing in, this is a kind of chestnut color. That's good. thinking of something for the path. Don't get it too messy. Gonna make a mess. Now I want to get some sky in there. And want this.
Here's another question. What size were those 100 variations?
The 100 variations were 10 by 10. All of them were 10 by 10.
Do you remember offhand how many, did you throw any away? Did you?
I didn't throw very many away. I have done over 300 of them, which is pretty crazy because I did the first 100 and then I just continued to do them as demos and as just because I kind of couldn't, you know, that's just my personality. I couldn't kind of stop after that. And they just give me a lot of pleasure to do. So that was pretty cool. So I'm bringing some of this green down here into this foreground shape because I've got this aqua back there and it kind of helps echo that.
We have one comment
Mm-hmm.
from a person that says that they cannot get along with UArt. Will not buy that again. And just a personal preference thing.
Yeah, UArt, I think it's okay. It's not my fave. It's got it's definitely got a lot of texture to deal with. So I'm looking at that sky that I did in here.
Could you think of what would be your best replacement for Wallace paper?
Well, the thing that I use is the Pastelmat mostly. I'm going to just bring that sky in here like this. Oh yeah, I like this one. This is nice. So now I'm going to... the thing that's closest to Kitty Wallace, I know people are liking the Lux Archival. I haven't really played with it too much, so I can't really speak to it yet. I want that distant. What is that going to be? Right there.
What about Fisher?
I don't know what that is.
I think it's a paper. Someone asks, will Lux and Fisher take liquids?
Yeah, that's cool.
But you haven't played around with really.
No, I
good items,
haven't. I have not. I need to. I need to make the time to do it, but I haven't. Now this is looking cool. Let's see. I want. this kind of thing. So this is, whoa, so bright, but it works. Now, got to play with these shapes in here. I'm not sure about that, but something like that. I actually like this other color better.
Well, a few people seem to like Fisher, which is
Oh,
cool.
really?
Yep.
Oh, I'll have to try it. Just adding a little lavender in here to see what that'll do. That's nice. Now I just want to, I like the colors of this. It's just a little chaotic and messy. But the value relationships in the color are kind of interesting. So maybe just a little definition. I'm just seeing what's going to happen. Maybe softening some of that. Maybe not. Oh, wrong thing. Is it this? Which one did I use? I've got a lot of sticks out here now. Let's take a look at this with the mat on it. That might be a little bright, but we'll see. Yeah, that's really cool. It's got a really interesting mood to it. I like it. Do one more thing. So in terms of color, I just think that it's really important to let yourself really play. And I think that we get really biased about color, and you know, students will say to me stuff like, well, I always end up using the same colors. I always, you know, my paintings all look the same. And that's kind of having this bias and not really understanding what the colors are going to do. All right, I'm looking at this. You know, I'm always orchestrating. I have a lot of stuff going on here, but I have a lot of neutrals. I have these really bright colors, but most of this is really neutral. Look at that, that's really pretty. Okay, maybe one more? Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Another quick question. Do you ever use a brush for blending?
I don't use a brush for blending. You know, mostly if I use a brush, it will be for brushing something off. Oh. Okay, so the last one I want to do some red. I want some red. That's what I want. Let's see. I'll do it on this. Got all this. And I need some tape. I could honestly do these all day long. I could just keep going.
And at the end, we'll take down our reference photo and our palette, and we'll put them all up on the board. We'll get a look at all of them together.
I wish I could do more. Maybe I could do more. Oh, I want to do that too. But I think I want red. So I've got this scrap, right? It's just an old scrap. I've got something already started on it, but that's okay. It's not going to hinder me. Might be distracting for you guys. I'll get this pathway right this time. There we go. That's better. Some red. Yeah, should we do red? What do you think?
I vote for red.
You vote for red? I don't know. Yeah, I guess I vote for red. Red. Boom. There's some red for you. Woo! That's nice. Oh, we could do the Zorn palette, or Zorn, red and green. We could do this. There's a good idea. No wonder he did it. So this is a complementary situation, and you know, in my mind as a painter, I always thought, oh, complementary, they're dissonant, they're opposite, so that means they're like poking at one another. But the thing about a complementary setup is they automatically share a relationship, because there's red, but what's green? Green is blue and yellow, so if we think of the primary triad as being, it's yellow. We've got yellow, red, and blue. Well, this is the elemental triad, and this is that, because we've got the blue and the yellow in the green. So it's pretty interesting. My understanding of that was different too. Okay, so let's see. There's that. That's pretty cool. I love this start.
Just to clarify, what size are these? What size is the mat?
Oh, I think it's, I don't know, Kevin.
Let's see.
Can you measure it? Not sure.
And these are a little smaller than the variations, correct?
Yeah, they are.
These are 6 by 6.
6 by 6. Look at that. Woo! I love it. Love it. It's funny how sometimes it just comes together right away. Other times, not so much. Hardly even need anything else in here. But I'm going to put something else in there. I'm not sure what. So pretty. The other thing about color is when you're painting, you can think about in anything that's in visible light, it's really got all the colors in the spectrum in it. It's just about the proportion that's reflecting back to you. So that kind of makes that case for optical mixing in that you know, you can add. It's about proportions. Now see what I did just there? I was feeling like the sky was a bit unrelated to this foreground, this whole section. So I brought this, which is more analogous to the red, and just a little bit brought it in there, and it just pulled it all together. So now I'll bring a little bit of this into that. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's like cooking.
And I know you don't keep track too much, but that last red was a Terry Ludig, probably, or do you know?
What did I say at the beginning of the live stream? I'm not going to tell you, you guys. Yeah, it's a Terry Ludwig. Yeah, it's not, yeah. It's a beautiful red, I have to say. So then you could get into, you know, kind of finishing these out a little bit more with some mark making and such. Little gradation here. That's nice. So whatever you put in, you want to echo it someplace else so that it all ties together.
Here's a little color question. Why does the lavender work so well with the primaries?
Can you clarify that question, please?
We'll wait for the delay to
Okay.
come in there. One suggestion is that the lavender plays off the yellowish bits in the sky, which is possible.
The lavender in this particular piece, it looks good because, ooh, this one turned out pretty. So lavender, the violet is a part of the primaries. So lavender is purple and red. And so, I mean, not purple and blue and red. And there's blue and yellow in the green. So it's all, they are all sharing a relationship. Okay. Ooh, I could play around with that all day. All right. I'm going to do one more because I want to, and then that's going to be it. Oh, we should put a mat on this one. Where's that mat? This one's pretty. Ooh, yeah, love it. I like them all. Okay, let's do one more. I'm going to do one, this time I'm going to do one that's a little higher key, but has it has the high key. This one's high key, but it doesn't. The only area that it really, the only area that it has any real strong contrast is right here. I'm going to do a high key one that's more like a summer deal, and then this is the paper I have left. I'll use it. Ooh, I have a whole bunch of pastels out here. Oh my gosh. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Okay, I'm going to look at one of the pieces that I had done. Let's see, get an idea. I saw one that I liked. I remember. Oh yeah. This one here, it's kind of neat. Kind of summer, high desert sort of thing. All right, one more time. Get my little pathway in. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so what did I do there? I want some nice, rich color in those. Oh, well, so I'll go grab my, so speaking of knowing the colors, this one I know is my Unison Yellow 13. That and the Blue Spruce are about the only ones that I really have memorized, or I know when I'm on site that what it is. Because it's not really about that for me. It's about understanding the colors will do and what the media does. All right, so now then I had some green kind of in here, but not too much. Maybe I want to make that more like this. Yeah.
Here's an interesting question. What size pastel mat would you recommend to get the most out of the paper?
What size? Boy, it's a difficult, well, you know, actually, if it were me and I were wanting to, you know, experiment around, I would probably buy, rather than buy the pads, I'd buy sheets. Because you know, the sheets are, and you can cut them to any size you want. When you buy the pads, you're a little bit more limited. So, you know, the sheets are nice. Let's see. I also think that it's a really good idea to work in a variety of scales, to sizes. So particularly if you're wanting to kind of like stretch out and play around with maybe you know, if you want to sell some stuff and you want to work a little larger. You know, you got to get used to working large. And working small also, to me, does something that's really great, is you can do a lot of stuff fast, you can experiment, you can be not really precious with things. So it's really valuable to work small. I like this kind of color situation too. That's really nice. Okay, so I want, I want to do something darker along this. Add another layer in here. I love aqua too. I think it's the most beautiful accent color. See, I've used it in this one, now this one. I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't be dependent on it. But I just love it. Oof, that's neat. You doing okay? So I'm back, yeah. Where, what? Oh, okay. Yeah, we do a lot of battery watching around here. that's nice. Now I want to bring a little more gray into the sky, just to get a little more mood. Settle that down just a bit. Maybe bring a little bit of that in here. That's really nice. And, oh, I'm looking at my reference here. Yeah, I don't think that's so good.
And just to remind everybody, we do have a video on YouTube about how to clean pastels.
Oh, we do.
Yep. There's a couple of different methods, the one with the cornmeal and the feather duster outside and all that.
All right, so guys, go to the website, paintinglessonswithmarla.com, and check out the new Color College workshop. I think it's really kind of the kind of a culmination of my teaching and my mind over the years, and it was a ton of work, and I did want to make it really affordable to people, because I think it's kind of color is what gets us excited when we see somebody else's work. At least it is for me. It's not just color, but it's so much of it, and it's I think the workshop's really it's pretty thorough. Oh, I want to do one thing. I want to bring in some pink. See this. Now, see what that's doing? That's echoing the purple that's in here. So that helps tie that together.
Somebody wrote a poem for you.
Oh no!
Yeah, it says, trails are red, skies are blue, Marla's Color College is designed for you.
Whoa!
I think
that?
I think that guy might have a future in advertising.
Who is that?
A guy named Roger Thompson. Do you know Roger Thompson?
Roger. What a dude. That's so cute. Roger. Roger took some pretty amazing photos for us for Color College. And we did that kind of last minute. We kind of decided to do that, and boy, did they turn out. Sometimes, you know, you do something and it just works. And that is really fun when that happens. I just want to get the shape of this tree. It's a little weird. I don't know why I'm futzing with it so much, but I am. That's neat. Okay. Again, echoing some color. Making sure it's bouncing around. Pervading the scene. I'm going to do one thing here. I'm going to warm up this. Not supposed to blow on it. Okay. I like it. Let's see. One more thing. Maybe a little lighter here.
And the question, one other question here is the Color College a go at your own pace workshop? Is
Yeah.
there a limited time, or do you always have access to the tutorials, etc.?
So, Color College is, yeah, you go at your own pace. There's no time limit. You're not starting with a particular group, though. You can join the Facebook group and be involved with, interact with students that are also doing the workshop. So you're not all alone, and I'm always around to answer questions. You have to, you can always put in a support ticket and ask me questions. But yes, and you have lifetime access to the content. The workshops are not like the monthly membership's a little bit different, but the workshops, you buy it and you have it. So you can do it whenever. So that's pretty cool. I want to do one thing. Just want to get that angle up on this. I'm just playing now, because I can. All right, let's take a look. That one's pretty cool too. All right, what should we do?
Do you want to arrange them all on, and then we'll just pull back here and we'll get a look at them all together?
Yeah.
I'll turn off the reference photo and the palette.
Okay. Oh, I made a mess. My hands are a mess. I like it though. I did 5. Of course, it went almost an hour and a half. Okay, so let me just talk about, just for a couple minutes about these,
Okay.
and I'll tell you what I think. Let me wipe my hands off a little bit.
And
Are you pulled back? Or?
Yeah, we'll use this camera, and you can just kind of Vanna White
Right.
those.
I can, man, let me get my pointer. I have a favorite brush for doing that with. Where is it? Oh, I must have it someplace else. This one I'll do.
I think it's right here.
Oh, it's funny. You know where it is. So.
That's right.
Oh, Kevin, you're so good. All right.
Okay, what do we got?
All right. So this is a starting point, and it's fine. You know, it's, you know, I think it turned out nice. It feels kind of fresh and good and felt easy. Easier, because I'm, you know, going directly from or most directly from a reference. It's fairly faithful, right? Boom. It's, you know, painting what I see. And typically for me, that's, you know, how I'll start. If I'm working with a particular reference photo that I have an intention to work with for a bit, or to base a series, or to begin a series of pieces, that's how I'll start, and that feels right. And in this, you know, there's a little bit like the lavender in the sky. No, I've exaggerated it. In here I do see that this leans a little bit towards lavender, and I see right here it feels like it's leaning a little bit towards yellow, so I'm just exaggerating it, pushing it in that direction. So that's what's, you know, happening here. It's pretty loose, and it's not exactly like this, but you could see that it's based on this. So then I moved over here, and this is the first one I did, and I started with the hardest one, but that's good, and kind of struggled to get that really high key thing going, but got, you know, lots of muted color and chromatic grays in here, high key. So it's different, and it's really, to me, it's probably of all of them the most interesting. Whether it's the most successful or not, I don't know. But it is, to me, something that if I were to do this again, if I were to come out into the studio by myself and do this again, I think I could do something really cool with it. If this, you know, if I had more time, I would come in here and really push some of this around, and maybe, you know, do something like that. And
blocking a little bit.
You know, I'd play with it some more. But to me, it's an interesting little piece, and a nice jumping off point to something different. Then I jumped over here and kind of went opposite land to this, and did something really low key, but with some really intense saturated color, and you know, much kind of that sunset mood. And I like it. It's a little messy to me, but I love these. I love this kind of thing going on. Again, this kind of lavender kind of pulls it together. So yeah, I like it. I like the mark making in this one. Then I come over here, and this one is just one of those that just kind of, it's just happened. And it's pretty darn cool. It's unusual. It's certainly not that. It's unusual. And it just came together really nice. And then this one I like, but I'm probably getting a little tired, and I'm talking to you guys, but I like it. I think it's successful. So now what I think about, so I painted, I'm going to say I painted for an hour and 15 minutes, because I spent the first 15 minutes talking to you guys. And my result in here is definitely a couple of things here that I could take and use in another piece, refine, adjust, use as a little, all of these to me are like having a little library, little sampler for myself of ideas, and I just love that. And so an hour and 15, and you know, this one's pretty cool. This one's pretty cool. I mean, they're all interesting to me, and I feel like they all push me along and give me some ideas and potential. And I love that about this time. So if I were to had a few hours every week to do this, it would really inform all of my painting practice, pastel, acrylic, oil, watercolor, whatever it was that I was doing. so valuable and such great such great exercise. All right, so that is it. Again, you guys, make sure you go to